Are you looking to buy a luxury midsize three-row SUV in the next year? Well, this is the place to be because we have extensively tested out and spent time with nearly every single option in this segment. Now, this is a very big segment, and I think critically, almost every single one of these options has been refreshed or redesigned recently, which is why it's important that we're today going to rank them.
And these rankings aren't just going to be arbitrary. They're going to be based on the 10 most important categories to you, the luxury three-row midsize shopper. After we give our objective rankings, we will also be giving a subjective ranking as to which one Drew and I would put in our driveway after spending time with each and every one of them. So after expert evaluation, which luxury three-row midsize SUV should you buy? Let's go ahead and find out.
Now, we spent countless hours testing out each of these models. We messed with the cargo, we messed with the technology, we drove them over all types of terrain. And then we spent about 5 additional hours putting them into this ranking based on the 10 most important categories to you, the shopper. Those 10 categories are premium cabin materials, luxury features, technology, powertrain choices, drive experience, cargo space, third row, active safety features, reliability, and value under $70,000.
Now, in each of those categories, we'll be ranking them from 1 to 5. 1 being poor and 5 being exceptionally good, and half points are allowed. Now, we do want to make a special note about this segment because there are a lot of different choices. This is just for the mid-size three-row luxury options. Our full-size countdown will be coming soon, and that will include things like the BMW X7, Mercedes GLS, the new Escalade, and Navigator. So stay tuned for that. Also, we do have a rule on this that most models must have a third row to be included because some options, it's only on one trim level or whatnot, special order. Most of the models will have to have a third row as standard equipment to compete. And also, Land Rover is excluded from this list because they have never given us a vehicle to review, so we can't give you those personal impressions.
But with that being said, there are 9 options in this segment. Let's go ahead and count them down.
So starting off our list with the number 9 choice, that's going to be the Cadillac XT6. Now, where does this vehicle score highly? Well, that's going to be the value under $70,000. This is actually one of those vehicles that most of the models actually are under that 70 grand price point, so that's something worth noting. It gets a 4.5 out of 5 possible points there. Additionally, it scores highly when it comes to active safety features. You do have to option on some of your active safety features, but you can get Super Cruise, which is a very impressive hands-off highway assistant. So we've sampled that out multiple times, and that's a really nice thing to have in this segment. Also, the cargo space, it gets a 3.5 in that area.
And of course, he was talking about value and features under $70,000. If you aren't going to spend that much money and you're looking for our mainstream list, we have recently just counted down the top 10 mainstream midsize three-row SUVs. So if you're interested in that, make sure to go check that video out. Now, moving on to the number 8 option, we have the Infiniti QX60. It has a total score of 29.5, and its strong areas are going to be your premium cabin materials, especially if you're going to spring for the autograph trim. They really do a good job of finishing the interior with a lot of very premium and upscale materials that spoil you. Also, the value under $70,000, this again is going to be one of your cheaper options where you get a lot of features for that price point.
Now, as far as some weaker categories for the QX60, that would be in your powertrain choices. It gets a 1.5 in that category because they actually have gotten rid of the smooth V6 that it had before and replaced it with a VC turbo. That's actually going to be your only engine option, so not really many choices, and it is just going to be a 4-cylinder. So that's something to keep in mind. And I do want to point out that if any of these individual categories matters most to you, for instance, powertrain, if you want a ton of choices or smooth options, you can go to carconfections.com/vehicle rankings. And on our website, not only do we have all these vehicles ranked with their scores, you can go on a chart and you can see which of the categories each vehicle scores best in. So for instance, powertrain, you can customize that and see which is the best and worst in the segment. But moving to the number 7 option, that's going to be the Audi Q7. That comes in at an overall score of 30.5 out of 50 possible points. Now, where does it score highly? Well, that's going to be premium cabin materials. This has a very, very nice cabin. We actually spent a week with one of the fully loaded examples, and it's exceptionally nice. Also, the luxury features. You can get pretty much anything your heart desires. $5,000 audio systems, massaging seats, suede headliners. All of that is going to be an available option on this model. Also, the drive experience, really good ride quality and pretty decent dynamics. Now, where does it score lower? That's going to be the third row. Still no vents in the third row, and it's small. And reliability and resale value, 1.5 in that category. And just the value overall, it's a German luxury SUV. They're expensive. So for 70 grand, you're not going to get a lot.
Now we're getting ready to get into the top 5. But first,
if you're new here, we're brothers, and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We started young, and since then we have reviewed over 2,000 vehicles at every price point.
No matter what you're looking for, from humble to high-end, we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family.
Let's learn a lot and have some fun with all the latest cars. All right, we're back with the number 6 selection, and that is the Lincoln Aviator. This is a model that was refreshed for 2025 and has quite a few improvements, including to things like the technology, which certainly boosted its score in that area. And also you'll notice that it has good marks in luxury features as well. You have things like that Revel Ultima audio system, those perfect position seats where you can change that basically any way you can even imagine. And then, of course, you also are looking at really good active safety features. So this is one of the only models that has a true hands-free driving system called Blue Cruise. Its weakest area, though, definitely appears to be resale and reliability. That's just going to give you a 1.5 in that model. And also, you don't get a lot under $70,000.
Now, moving to the number 5 slot, this is once again refreshed. Like we said, a lot of the options on this list are heavily refreshed this year. That's the Volvo XC90. Now, as far as where this vehicle excels, it really excels in the same areas that it did prior to the refresh. Premium cabin materials. It's a very nicely appointed cabin, and you have a lot of available color combinations and wood trims and things like that. You also have really nice luxury features, such as the very best audio system on this list, and maybe the best audio system you can get in any vehicle. That Bowers & Wilkins is absolutely incredible. Massaging seats, a lot of luxury features. Now, the technology has been vastly improved this year as well for the refresh, and the powertrains are really good in this vehicle. You have a plug-in hybrid, you have a standard powertrain choice as well. Now, where does it score a little bit lower? That's going to be reliability and resale value, as well as the value under $70,000. Now, several of them on this list, you'll notice, do score low in those categories, and that's because they're expensive options, that's for sure.
By the way, if you're curious about the category of reliability specifically and how that's determined, make sure to head over to carconfections.com/reliability. Even though many of these models are just now entering the market, our reliability rankings consider the historic performance of a brand via several of the industry-leading reliability studies, combined to give you a more holistic picture. Again, you can find information on methodology at carconfections.com/reliability. And now let's get into the number 4 pick, and that is the new Lexus GX. So this, of course, is a big product for this segment, and you'll notice when you look at the scores that this is a lot more of a well-rounded product. We don't have any 1s or 2s on this chart at all. Now, some of its strongest areas revolve around having good active safety features that are really all standard across the entire lineup. Also, of course, Lexus is known for having great reliability and resale value. Now, some of the weaker areas for this product belong to really the drive experience. This is a truck at the end of the day, so it's not going to ride as luxurious or handle as nicely as most of the other things on this list.
And we're in the top 3 options now, and number 3 belongs to the refreshed Acura MDX. Now, you'll notice its score actually jumps quite a bit over all these other ones, up to 36 36 total points, excuse me. Now, as far as where this vehicle excels, this is going to really excel in a lot of categories. Premium cabin materials. Acura has really upped the game when it comes to this MDX by giving you a lot more choices, premium materials, and when it comes to luxury features, you're going to get massaging seats on a lot of the trim levels now. A new Bang & Olufsen audio system that's exceptionally good. Really good stuff when it comes to that. Now, the technology has also been improved, which was an area that it also used to score very lowly in. Powertrains and choices, you have a standard V6 or an available high output V6 with the Type S variant, and the drive experience is really exceptionally good. It gets a 5 on that category, which is the best in the segment. Also, reliability and resale value are good, and active safety features score very solidly. Where's its weakest point? That's going to be the third row. Still no vents in the third row, and it's also going to be small and only have 2 seats. Now, before we get into our top 2 choices, I do want to remind you all, if you're looking to buy any of the vehicles on this list or any new vehicle, to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes. Now, the reason you do that is because we have a tool on our website that will connect you with local car dealers in your area to get you the best price. It's also going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool for dealership negotiation. If you'd like to take advantage of that, a link is provided in our video description, and we also have a pinned comment at the top of this video.
But let's get to the number 2 slot. So you might be surprised at what this is. This is actually the Buick Enclave. So this is a product that was fully redesigned this year, and Buick really worked to basically reposition this and put this firmly as a luxury offering now. And you'll see when you look at this chart, you have 4 different categories that scored 5 in. So very, very impressive stuff. Technology, this comes with a 30-inch display, which is ironically vastly superior to what Cadillac has on the XT6 right now. Also, cargo space, this is going to be tied for the largest option on this entire list for overall space. Active safety features, you have all of them as standard equipment, plus you have Super Cruise, which is, in our opinion, the best hands-free highway driving system available on the market. And then finally, your value under $70,000. Basically, you can get every single feature that this Enclave Avenir offers for under $70,000 easily.
I believe a fully loaded one is $65,000, so it's definitely going to be very value oriented for this segment, that's for sure.
Right, its only real weak areas is of just the premium cabin materials. It's still a nice cabin, but it just doesn't hold up, super well against these high-end other offerings.
And drum roll, please, for our number 1 pick. That's going to be the Lexus TX. That's coming in at an overall score of 40 out of 50 possible points. That's a really good score, especially when you look at the other options on this list. Talk about a vehicle that really doesn't have a weak category. I mean, you really look through these, and the lowest score it gets is a 3. So that is a recipe for winning this, that's for sure. Where does it get a 3? That's going to be premium cabin materials. It's going to be nice, but not as nice as some of the other options in this list. And the luxury features are also going to kind of fall in that same area. But past that, it really does exceptionally good when it comes to powertrain choices. You have several choices. You have a standard gasoline option if you don't want any hybridization. You also have the high-end 500h performance variant that gets really good fuel economy, and a plug-in hybrid variant as well with a V6. The drive experience is also pretty good. They've really worked for that 500h to drive a lot smaller than it is, and it excels when it comes to cargo space and the third row. This is the largest option on the list. The only one that even comes close to really rivaling it is the Buick Enclave. It gets a 5 in both of those categories. Active safety features, all of those are standard equipment. And Lexus resale and reliability is, of course, another strong suit. Additionally, it's going to be a decent value in the segment. You can get a lot of options for $70,000. It's far from the most expensive one on this list, but it's also not going to be the cheapest one, which is why it lands as the number 1 slot objectively. But which one are we going to put in our driveways individually?
So based on what's most important to me subjectively, I'm going to pick the Acura MDX, the Type S variant specifically. I really feel like it's a good rational choice, the way it drives, but also the combination of how it rides, just how much luxury you get on the interior as well. And it just is a good, reliable vehicle.
Yeah. Now, that was my second choice, but my personal driveway pick would be the Lexus GX. The things that I love about that is it just looks so good on the outside. It looks tough and rugged. Also, the very truck-like feel of the drive experience, I don't mind too much, and I think it offers a lot of value, especially if you choose like a middle trim level like the Premium Plus. You're getting 90% of the features you want for under $70,000. So I think that's what I would put in my driveway. And guys, that's going to be where we leave off on this countdown of the top luxury three-row midsize options. Now, of course, we want to remind you once more, if you're interested in a little bit of a cheaper list, you can watch our mainstream midsize three rows as well. And if you want to see each vehicle's strong suits in each specific category, once again, go to carconfections.com/vehicle rankings. We have a chart on there that will allow you to manipulate different things so you can see which is the best in certain categories. If you're already a fan and subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. And if you're not already, we'd like to welcome you into this Car Confections family. We have a lot of fun on this channel, and I promise you won't want to miss out. Also, of course, we really hope you found this video helpful. We know that there can be a lot of options in this segment, and that's really the whole point of us making these countdown videos, is so you can see all the choices and which vehicles would be the strongest in specific categories. We'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.